Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Not only is he back, but it's back. The good old days when the news cycle was exciting, when we weren't spending or wasting our time trying to decipher whatever Joe Biden said in his last speech, having to reverse engineer what we think he meant as he spews out a bunch of incoherent nonsense out of his face. We're going back to a more exciting time as we head straight to the Republican primary season. In other words, campaign season. It's crazy how fast it goes. Like I said previously, the 2020 election felt like it was yesterday, and then boom, we were in the 2022 midterms. The 2022 midterms felt really like it was yesterday, and then boom, we're headed straight into 2024 presidential campaign season. And the star of the show, of course, is back. Donald Trump is officially back, not only announcing his first couple rallies as he's already getting his show on the road, quite the contrast to Joe Biden, who spent pretty much the entire campaign season in the frickin' basement. The mean machine workaholic Trump is back. And even better news, he's back on social media, making his first posts since early 2021 when social media companies colluded to suppress the president of the United States. We've got some stuff to get into, folks. Let's roll the tape. All right, friends, so take a look at this. I'm back. President Trump's first Facebook post since being let back on Mark Zuckerberg's platform. I'm back, President Trump posted on Facebook on Friday afternoon after he was banned from the platform by leftist activists following the January 6, 2021 protests in Washington, D.C. President Trump posted this video.
Sorry to keep you waiting, complicated business. Complicated.
Sorry to keep you waiting, complicated business, folks. It certainly is, it certainly is. Donald Trump re-enters the ring and he's not playing any games. Take a look at how he started his most recent speech.
Within hours of my inauguration, I will cancel every Biden policy that's brutalizing our farmers. Every single one. As president, I will immediately end the invasion of our southern border. Kim mentioned.
I know there's a lot of doubters out there when it comes to GOP voters, but Trump still remains a sleeping giant. It's hard to really say anything this early, but a sleeping giant no more, Donald Trump is hitting the campaign trail. 45th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, to hold his first 2024 campaign rally in Texas. A campaign rally scheduled on Saturday, March 25th, 2023, right around the corner. The Trump campaign also posting Donald Trump polling trends, specifically in Texas with the caption, "It is undisputed that Texas is Trump country," after electing 37 Trump-endorsed candidates and recent polling among Texas primary voters, showing Ron DeSantis holding a lead in November. Of course, when Trump was at his lowest after the 2022 midterms, fast forward to now in March, the numbers have completely flipped and Donald Trump remains the de facto Republican nominee as of right now. Again, I want to reiterate, Ron DeSantis hasn't even announced a presidential run, so I really don't even get why it's part of the conversation, and so I want to continue focusing on Donald Trump, all of the good, and not feed into this divisive Donald Trump versus Ron DeSantis BS narrative that doesn't even really exist. Let's talk about polling trends because, again, Joe Biden is sleepy and creepy and rather insignificant when it comes to his general presence. Donald Trump's a sleeping giant who is slowly awakening, and while the numbers tend to ebb and flow based on whether or not Donald Trump's making his presence known. And leftoids should be paying attention because Donald Trump is on the rise. We've been following his favorability numbers for the past couple of months, and his numbers are not only getting strong, they're getting excellent. Everything you see here in the 30s is outdated at this point. Most of those polls are from a month and a half to 2 months ago. And of course, the PPP poll is a Democrat insider garbage poll, and frankly, Quinnipiac should be viewed as the same, but we'll include Quinnipiac. If we take a look at the 4 most recent polls, Donald Trump is on a mega rise when it comes to his favorability ratings. In fact, Rasmussen data, which has been pretty bad for Donald Trump recently, is showing a significant turn with a 52% favorability rating. Harvard Harris has him at 48, and The Economist/YouGov has him at 45. The Economist/YouGov is usually just as trashy as Quinnipiac. If you take a Trump versus Biden head-to-head matchup, Donald Trump still is doing quite well in terms of early polling data. Joe Biden has this, quote, lead in the aggregate, mostly because of this absolutely garbage Susquehanna poll, showing Biden leading by 13 points. Honestly, there's only 2 credible pollsters on this entire list, and that's Emerson and ABC News/Washington Post. And of course, Rasmussen reports as well, but those are outdated numbers. numbers. The most credible polling outlets showing Donald Trump in the lead. That's not guaranteeing that Donald Trump's in a position to win right now, but it certainly shows him in a position of strength. Generally, this far out of an election, Donald Trump would be down regularly 10, 15, maybe even 20 points. Joe Biden would have an aggregate spread of at least 4 to 6%. That just isn't the case right now. Trump's back, ready to rock and roll. Campaign season is just starting, so these numbers are going to shift dramatically depending on what Donald Trump's going to be saying on the campaign trail. If he gets his message reined in and does the job that he's clearly capable of, Joe Biden is going to be in serious trouble. It's not a secret. Joe Biden's essentially a political injured animal. And I personally believe Donald Trump's coming back bigger and better than ever, and things are most likely going to get real exciting, real quick, and real interesting. And speaking of interesting, and speaking of Democrats in absolute sheer panic, the same old garbage narrative resurfaces. Guess what? Apparently, Donald Trump won't be able to run in 2024 because Democrats are telling us now that Donald Trump is going to be indicted in New York City for supposed crimes that he committed in the Stormy Daniels ordeal.
We are learning that the Manhattan DA's office has asked for a meeting with law enforcement ahead of a potential Trump indictment. This is coming to Fox News from a source in the courts. The meeting, which was requested yesterday and has not been set yet, is to discuss logistics for some time next week, which would mean that they are anticipating an indictment next week. The same source who's familiar with the planning said they will go over security preparations in and around the courthouse in Lower Manhattan. Secret Service will take the lead in what they will allow or will not allow. The source cautioned, mentioning, for instance, that the decision to handcuff the president, a former president, or not.
I know a lot of Democrats are taking victory laps on this one, but I'd say slow down, don't take a victory lap just yet. I think the latest New York City Democrat witch hunt is going to end just as bad as it always does for the Dems. It's going to end up in Donald Trump becoming more popular than he was before the indictment. This whole ordeal is ridiculous. They're making a complete spectacle of this whole thing, pursuing these bogus charges that years ago federal prosecutors refused to pursue because there's no actual case there. Let's not forget that Stormy Daniels was actually ordered to pay Donald Trump's legal fees in her case against him, the judge ordering her to pay over $300,000 to Donald Trump in legal fees. But now we're supposed to believe like there's some credibility here. All of a sudden, 6, almost 7 years later. This just goes to show how desperate these ridiculously corrupt Democrats are. You think the timing is coincidental? That no one ever pursued criminal indictment in this case when it was relevant back in 2017 and 2018, and now all of a sudden, as Donald Trump's political stock is rising and he's the clear contender in 2024, new New York City indictments are about to drop. Either the Democrats know that Donald Trump is their clear #1 threat to maintaining power in Washington, or it's as some people are saying, which I find a little bit of a stretch, that Democrats are illegitimately persecuting Donald Trump on purpose to make him a martyr, make him a folk hero, so they can guarantee his 2024 nomination, thinking that he's the easiest path to regaining the White House in the next election. Honestly, my reaction to either theory is, bring it on. There's a lot of people throwing Trump under a bus and underestimating him. I'd say underestimate him at your own risk. Things are about to get real exciting. That's what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, folks, and I'll see you on the next one.